Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and get ready because if many analysts are correct, we're about to see the next major leg up in price action for XRP, which up until recent days, some people are so mopey and down about it. It just sounds impossible. They don't want to talk about it. It's not ever going to happen. People have that. Some people anyway have that type of sentiment. But now that Bitcoin's been running, although it has been moving sideways for the last day and a half or so, whatever it's been. But now that Bitcoin did start running and you've completely changed sentiment in the market as a result, that's all it took was one day, one $5,000 increase in price for Bitcoin. That's all it took. And now apparently it's okay to talk about XRP going up again, which we should talk about because XRP continues to move in tandem with Bitcoin. And there are broad expectations from many analysts out there that yes, it is going to continue to move in the upside. So I'm going to share with you some perspective on that from various analysts and some thoughts about where Bitcoin is going, which, even if you don't hold Bitcoin or you're not that excited about Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. You should be excited about what Bitcoin's doing. Again, even if you don't hold it, because Bitcoin leads the market, and if Bitcoin does well, it's very reasonable to suppose that XRP is going to do even better. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Here's a headline from the Crypto Basic. Japanese firm SBI VC Trade forecasts XRP surge to 62 cents in recent market report. And I did pull up the report. It's in Japanese, though, so I did a Google Translate, and I read through this article. And without, it's not really necessary to read through the article to share with you the main takeaway here, which is that SBI VC Trade, which, yes, by the way, obviously, major partner of Ripple, very long XRP, and they have been since before I even knew XRP existed, and I've been in the space since 2017. They're anticipating that in the short term, and they are, by the way, it's the report again coming the other day, they are aware of what happened with the price action with Bitcoin. They're anticipating a move up for XRP to that 62 cent level, and they're not the only ones. Here is an analysis from Rakesh Upadhyay, who's a chart analyst who writes for Cointelegraph. And without going through the whole article, I just want to share with you a couple of the key takeaways. He anticipates that it's very plausible as long as we don't see some sort of tremendous, ridiculous break to the downside, which is not what he seems to anticipate is most plausible here. He is one of the analysts that thinks that we should expect Bitcoin to rocket on up to roughly $40,000. And again, if that happens, the market moves in tandem. What do you think that means for XRP? Which is why I've said many times before, and I couldn't more genuinely believe this. XRP is going to substantially outperform Bitcoin. And I've been holding Bitcoin and XRP for almost 6 years at this point. I'm pro both of them. I have a way bigger XRP position in terms of dollar, how much I actually put in. But I even if I didn't, just coming in as a blank tip with just getting new information, I would still find it most likely that XRP is going to substantially outperform Bitcoin because there's so much less money in it right now. It doesn't take that much flowing into, get a crazy multiplier effect. Now, Rakesh Upadhyay also anticipates that XRP, should it also continue directionally to the upside, which, let's be real, it's contingent upon Bitcoin, I believe anyway. He sees that we could be seeing XRP rise up in the short term to 66 cents and then attempt to rally to 71 cents thereafter. And this is in line with what I've been seeing from all sorts of analysts, including I highlighted something from XRP community member analyst Dark Defender, who's saying, he was actually talking about that exact level. It's funny. I meant to admit, I'm glad I thought of that just right now. He was talking about that. I think it was exactly 66 cents. I'm pretty sure it was. Either way, it was right around there, mid 60-something cent region at a minimum. And then he was saying, yes, check for that. But then ultimately, not long after, check for $1.40, and actually shared that in a video just yesterday. So it's not hard to find these perspectives at this point. I mean, because it follows Bitcoin, right? And then there's also this from the Daily Huddle, $10,000 single day rally now on the table for Bitcoin, according to crypto strategist. A closely followed analyst believes that an exponential move to the upside is in the cards for Bitcoin. Pseudonymous analyst Credible Crypto tells his 348,000 followers on the social media platform X that Bitcoin is just getting warmed up after rallying to a new 2023 high of $34,606. And of course, ultimately, it did go up most recently to just over $35,000. According to the trader, Bitcoin's relative strength index is in bull territory on the weekly chart, indicating that momentum is on the up and up for Bitcoin. And here's the quote from him. You think these last couple of days have been crazy? It's nothing compared to what we will see in the coming weeks. The biggest move occur as RSI pushes into overbought territory on higher timeframes, starting with the weekly, end quote. With a momentum on the rise for Bitcoin, Credible Crypto thinks that Bitcoin is now in a position to print massive rallies in one day. And folks, by the way, I just want to point out, in his defense here, not that he needs my defense, but he's been calling for this for the longest time, even when almost everyone in the space seemingly was bearish and didn't even want to hear it. You know, we're going to $12,000 for Bitcoin. He's like, well, no, it doesn't say that in the charts. And we will be having these days with massive green candles for Bitcoin. And we just had one. Again, we just had one the other day. $5,000 in a single day. The bear said that was impossible, yet it just occurred. And so anyway, here's another quote from him. Think we will finally get our first of many $10,000 plus monthly candles here in October, end quote, end quote. According to the analyst, there is no major resistance left that could stop Bitcoin from rallying towards $40,000 now that it is trading well above the psychological support of $30,000. He said, quote, there is no resistance above us that was as significant as the one that we just broke through. The path up from here will be faster, more aggressive, and less forgiving to those who are on the sidelines than anything we have seen since the $15,000 bottom thus far. Don't overcomplicate it. It's basically open air till $40,000. Maybe then we get a pause, but even that won't last very long, in my opinion, end quote. And I will say, after this massive surge the other day where Bitcoin went up $5,000 in a single freaking day, all sorts of reputable analysts who happen to have gotten this call wrong, they came out and acknowledged it, and even they're on board with this now. You know, for instance, Nicholas Merton, he admitted that he got this one wrong. There's Benjamin Cowan. He's got something like 700,000 or 800,000 subscribers on YouTube. And so these are bigger names in the world of crypto, well, as far as chart analysts are concerned. And it's actually at this point hard to find those who think that what's most probable is a move to the downside, even though none of them will say it's impossible. And I say fair enough to that. Everybody is on board at this point. But that's the thing. Once it becomes obvious, like, well, how could you not come on board after that? And that's why I think it's worth giving kudos and props to those who were calling for this before the big moves happened. And I'm just saying Credible Crypto is one of those. And the blockchain backer, he's one that said that what's most probable is a move like this. And even he's been saying, you know, $40,000 doesn't seem crazy. And then there was also this post, and this is from just this afternoon today. Credible Crypto was responding to a post from somebody named Tony the Bull, who I'm not familiar with. Tony the Bull shared a couple charts here. The one on the left is just Bitcoin USD. The one on the right is the S&P 500. That's on the right. And you can see Bitcoin obviously got a couple candles to the upside, and then on the SPX, which is the S&P 500, a few candles to the downside. So not moving directionally the same. And Tony the Bull wrote, who would have thought that Bitcoin's chart looks like the left while the S&P 500 looks like the right? And the reason that he's saying this, folks, is because there's no shortage of historic precedent and historical data showing that stocks move in tandem with Bitcoin, broadly speaking, especially on major events like what happened with the pandemic in 2020, for example. You know, when everything cratered down and XRP got down to like 10 or 11 cents, that's because Bitcoin was down, and that's because the whole world was on fire, basically. And so stocks were really taking it on the chin, because again, the asset classes move in tandem. But Credible Crypto reposted this, and he said, a perfect example of why you don't attempt to play Bitcoin by looking at other charts like the S&P 500. If you want to know where Bitcoin is headed, focus on the Bitcoin chart. I know plenty who could not see this rally as a possibility because of the way the S&P 500 looks. And so I was only partly surprised to see this by Credible Crypto, this particular post, because obviously it's not that Bitcoin necessarily follows what stocks are doing down to the second, the minute, the day, the week, the month, so on and so forth. So that part I'd be on board with. You're just talking about something like that. But again, there's no shortage of historical evidence that, if you zoom out on a chart, you can see that, especially for the big moves, the asset classes move in tandem. They just do here. And so he's saying, but you can't go by what the S&P 500 is doing. So if he's talking about just on a short term, then that makes all the sense in the world. And I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you here. But you'd be talking about changing, some sort of fundamental shift, like a paradigm shift in the way that these asset classes are being treated, because they're both considered risk-on assets. And so in, tumultuous times of uncertainty, they get treated the same. That's not surprising. And in fact, there is perspective from another very popular chart analyst who I'm a big fan of. I just don't cover him that frequently on the channel because he doesn't post as frequently, and he's not exclusively covering crypto, but it's Alessio Rastani. I might be butchering the last name. I think it's Alessio Rastani. But he's got a YouTube channel with like 375,000 subscribers. So he's very well known, and for good reason. I consider to be a top shelf analyst. But anyway, he put out a video recently where he said, look, one of these charts is lying. And he was talking about a particular chart having to do with the stock market. It wasn't the S&P 500, I don't believe, but he's making a broader point. He's saying, here's a chart not looking so hot. And it's a chart that he was describing as a leading indicator. And then there was the Bitcoin chart. And he said, one of these charts is lying. Now, the reason he was saying that is because he knows, obviously, that the asset classes move in tandem. So either this is a false break for Bitcoin to the upside, and you're going to see it move back down in tandem with equities, broadly speaking, or equities are not going to keep doing what they're doing, broadly speaking, and they're going to get more in line with Bitcoin. He says one of the charts is lying, and he's not sure which. So he expects that to be resolved in the coming weeks. So I'm going to keep checking what he has to say. And I check a ton of different analysts on a regular basis, every single day, actually. So I'll share with you what I learned from various analysts and what their thoughts are as we go through this, because it's fascinating here. But it does. And by the way, Alessio Rastani, he even said before Bitcoin took off days ago, before Bitcoin really took off and we had that $5,000 daily candle, he said that the chart for Bitcoin does look bullish. Stocks don't look bullish. And so it was already tough to reconcile that. And so he does recognize those things. And then there was also this post from Credible Crypto. He wrote, you have global equities of $100 trillion and Bitcoin sitting at 1/200th of that, with 70% of that supply essentially off the market. It really doesn't matter what the global environment is like when we are this small. A major traditional asset manager can drop some spare change into Bitcoin and send it through the roof. Okay, so as far as the idea of dropping some spare change and sending it through the roof, yeah, that's in line with something that I say all the damn time, which is that it doesn't take much money flowing into a crypto, especially if it's got less money like XRP or pick a small cap coin. It doesn't take much money flowing in to get a tremendous rally with a crazy percentage gains, crazy multiplier effect, all that jazz. But directionally, again, crypto always has historically, gone in line with what's happening with the stock market. So I'm a little surprised, but I could be wrong. I'm not pretending to be a chart analyst. It's just that you don't need to be a chart analyst to be aware of some basic facts, which is that, crypto and equities, they've just moved in tandem here. So, he could be right, and my suspicion could be wrong here. I guess I'd probably need to learn more about why he's been saying today what he's been saying about this. Oh, actually, no, I meant to share with you that this post here was from July 5th, and I wanted to point out, so he's been saying stuff like that for some time. That's the reason I pulled that one. So that one is from July 5th, so he's being consistent on that. But I don't know. What do you think? Is Credible Crypto correct? Is Alessio Rastani correct? We're going to see that the charts must move in tandem? And then there was this from analyst Alex Kruger, who wrote, most people have missed this Bitcoin and crypto bull run because they have been worried about the macro and waiting for it to improve or liquidity to come back. RIP. And then Credible Crypto reposted this and wrote literally this with 3 of those 100 emojis. And there's additional perspective here from Alex Kruger as covered by the Daily Hodl, and I want to run through some of this with you. Economist and crypto trader Alex Kruger believes that Bitcoin is preordained to hit $42,000 due to one possible event. According to a new blog post by Kruger's financial advisory firm Asgard Markets, the King crypto will likely soar by more than 24% from its current value by the time a possible spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund launches. The firm also says that a massive Bitcoin rally is expected on the day the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission may approve a spot Bitcoin ETF, which they anticipate happening in January 2024. And check out this quote, because again, in terms of the price levels to expect, it's just I see so many analysts calling for the same thing now, more or less. Anyway, so here's the quote. Our view has been that the ETF is quasi-guaranteed, and the SEC would have it approved by January 10th, in January itself, to be precise. We had also been expecting the market to front-run the approval by about a month and a half, but animal spirits have decided to start running now. Given last week's large move, we think that Bitcoin consolidating for a few days in the $30,000 to $32,000 range before continuation just makes sense. Any dips into the 29,000s are for buying. We also think that the day the ETF gets approved, the market should see a plus 20% move intraday. We see Bitcoin hitting $42,000 by the time the ETF launch as opposed to approval. Note here. And so this is why I said in several days and before the big rally, I was just warning, and not that I knew that this was going to happen. I didn't. I absolutely did not know. I just knew eventually the market would go. And I put out a video saying, hey, and it was actually because of the spot Bitcoin ETF specifically that I was thinking along these lines. We don't know when the market's going to go. And so this could be among the last moment in time to purchase at these price levels. And so I even shared in that video that I bought some stuff. I did buy some crypto. And it's not that I knew that this was going to happen. And yes, it just happened to be the case that a couple of days after that video, Bitcoin did start running. I didn't know that was going to happen. That wasn't the point. Of course, I never know. How would I know? Even the analysts who out there have strong conviction don't know for sure. But I made the broader point that we're in the last of days for this to be the case. Even if it's over half a year until Bitcoin starts running, these are the last times, because once it goes, either you have exposure or you don't, which is why I topped off and I bought some stuff, increased some holdings. So now, altcoins haven't been running like crazy, even though they have been moving in tandem. I mean, yeah, XRP is up a fair bit, even in terms of percentages compared to before the Bitcoin started running. Fair enough. But still, compared to where this is going, like we're still at this point where there still is some opportunity to buy crypto at these levels, just not for long. You're not going to be able to buy crypto, including XRP, at these price levels for long. Because what happens when the new price level for XRP happens to be more like 75 cents or a buck? I was just talking about that. I was talking about that days ago before this run happened. Because eventually, I would anticipate that would be the case as the market gets hotter. And that's before XRP goes on a crazy face melt run where it finally hits a new all-time high, which I also believe is inevitable. So all that to say, what's most probable at this point, it seems from analysts that I follow, is a move to the upside here. And so, without some sort of wild card event, that's what's most probable. Now, there's still this question mark in the back of my mind because of this correlation between equities and crypto. What happens if we enter a recession and then stocks start bleeding out? What's that going to do? Because we haven't really had a world where Bitcoin's had to deal with, any sort of major recession. If you think about the rally since Bitcoin's inception in 2013 and 2017, and then the most recent one a couple years ago, it's all been fantastic. And so you've had major pullbacks for Bitcoin specifically in bear markets, but you haven't had this in conjunction with some sort of major recession and then seen what that might do for, stock activity in terms of price action. So it's not that there are no concerns, and yes, we could see moves to the downside that would invalidate the types of things that are being discussed by analysts and some of what I've said in this video, but we're not talking in certainty here because how could we? That would be disingenuous. We're talking in terms of probability. And so that's why for me, I believe that the most probable thing to occur is a move to the upside for crypto, including XRP, and that's why I've just continued to position myself, purchase some crypto recently. But I also noted, even if that's not the case and XRP and Bitcoin crater on down, okay, then I'll just be enticed to buy more. So it doesn't change my plan either way. So none of us know what's happening for sure. We're just speaking in terms of probability, but that's why I say even if the improbable happens and we have a move to the downside, it could happen. I'll buy more. Even if XRP got bad enough, I'd buy more XRP. And I haven't bought XRP in about 3 years because I have too much of it. I decided I spent way too much money on it. It's my largest holding, so it's what it is. But, we don't need to be focusing on the downside too much at this point. Like, have fun. Enjoy it. We've been seeing a move to the upside. It's probably going to continue, even though it's been paused for the last day or two, whatever it's been. It's not going to sit around here forever, and there's a strong expectation for most analysts. Yeah, it's about to continue. And we enjoy this because most of what it is to be in crypto is to have sideways price action or moving down. People aren't thrilled. So, have some smiles on your damn faces out there when days like this happen where you have a big ass candle. Because you know what? It's just a friendly reminder, like the sideways stuff, the downward price action, it's not going to happen forever. The market's been trending to the upside for 14 years, and there's no sign that's going to stop. Life-changing wealth is out there. So get ready because we could be having XRP's next leg up. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.